This is question 8 for practice test 2. Trace. Show what happens in memory. It also says please number the lines of code. That's good, that will help me anyway. Okay, I know I'm going to start in main, so I'm going to start numbering right here. And it looks like the first thing that I do is I create an array named n with the numbers 5, 3, and 1 in it. So I'm just going to start my variables over here, and here's n. For arrays, when I'm tracing, especially on exams when I'm under pressure, I like to write the index numbers just so I don't have to think about them. There's 3 elements, 5, 3, and 1. The index numbers are 0, 1, and 2, of course. Okay, so that takes care of that part. For step 2, I'm starting a for loop, and that means I have an I variable now to keep track of, so I'll keep track of that here. And it starts at 0. N.length is always 3. That's never going to change, so you might want to write that in just so you don't have to remember it every time and look back. 0 is less than 3, so I go in here. N sub 0 is equal to fluff. Okay. That means I have to make a call to fluff. And first, and then I'm going to add I to it. Okay, so this is my function call, or method call. That means I end up right over here on step 4. Inside fluff, I've got an array named x. For arrays, they are passed by reference, so n and x are the same thing. I might actually list that here by just saying nx. And then there's a separate int named v, which I will track separately. And it looks like v is being passed in as a 2. Okay. Now I'm done on the for loop, and I have a separate variable named I, which I'll keep track of here over by the v. This is, maybe I can say fluff. So I know that that I is for the fluff method. Okay, 0 is less than 3. X.length is 3. So I will go in if x sub I is less than v. So if x sub I is set to 0 right now. If 5 is less than 2, which it's not, so I'm going to go around again. So this happened. Now I'm down here. I don't go into here, so I'm down here at the for loop where this I is going up by 1. Go around again for step 7. I'm back here testing. Is my new value of I less than 3? Yes, it is. Is x sub 1 less than 2? Nope, 3 is not less than 2. So I'm testing x sub 1 less than v. Nope. So I'm going around the loop again. Back here at step 9, I'm doing a test again to see if I'm still in bounds. 2 is less than 3, so I'm allowed to go down to here to step 10. And then now I'm testing x sub 2, which is a 1. 1 is less than 2, so I will return x sub I. So I'll return that x sub 2. So I'm returning a 1 here. That means that by the time I return, so now I look back to my lowest number, and I see that that's a 4, so I'm back here at my call. Fluff just returned a 1. 1 plus this value of I, which is 0, is a 1. N sub 0 gets equal to 1. Like this. Okay. Now I'm still in this for loop, so this I gets set to the next item. Now up at step 4, I'm testing to see if I'm in range. 1 is still less than 3, so I'm allowed to go in here for step 5. And now I'm stuck in here again, calling fluff. So let me take out this return value, and we'll go back into fluff for step 6. Step 6. Oh, sorry, no, not step 6. I'm totally in the wrong numbering system here. We have 4 and a 5. Let's fix my numbers. That would be 11 and 12. At step 13, I am up here making my variables work. I'll put a int v is now still 2 every time, so that's going to stay to be a 2. And then I'm still passing the same array. Okay, now I loop through the array. I know what I'm doing this time because I just did it once before, so I could probably do this a little faster, but I'll try to be accurate. Also looks like I can't write anything. Let's see if I can. Okay, 14. I am in range here with my I set back to 0. I'm going to loop through the array and figure out if anybody is less than 2. And if they are less than 2, I'm going to return it. So I just fixed that. So I know that x sub 0 is now a 1. That one is less than 2. So I'm going to return that number right away. So the first thing that I do is I return step 16. I think I missed a number back last time I returned, but in general that's okay. Like, as long as I can see kind of where you're going with your numbers, it's fine. Just want to see what you thought the order was. Okay, so I'm returning a 1. So this is, again, a 1. And this gets added to my current value of this I, which is also a 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. And my I is at a 1. So this gets set equal to 2. Now I go around the loop again, and I set I equal to 2. This is the last time through the loop for me. Now I'm at step 17, checking my for loop. Yes, I can go in there. At step 18, with n is equal to 2, I call fluff one more time. And here I am up in fluff at step 19. Still same x. V is still equal to 2 again, so that's the same as before. I'll just leave it. 20, I gets reinitialized to 0. It's a fresh copy of I. 21, test x sub 0. It is less than 2, so I return immediately at step 22. And now I'm back down here at my method call. And that is also returned to 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. I'm looking at this I here. It just returned a 1. 1 plus the current value of I is 3. And n sub 2 is going to set equal to 3. Like so. At this point, I goes up by 1 because I reached the end of my for loop. That therefore 3 is no longer less than 3, and I come down here to the bottom for step, where are we at? 23, I guess. And I print out. Oh, I have one more method call in here though. That's sneaky. So before I can even do the printout, I have to do this first. So I pass n and I pass a 1. One more call to fluff, passing that same array. This time v is set equal to 1 though. So for step 24, I'm back up here in fluff with just enough room to work. Set up my v, which is 1 this time. Set up my n, that's the same as before. At step 25, I set up my I one last time. And I look to see if x sub I, so x sub 0, is less than 1. No, it's not. And I can see just, I can go through this while loop. I don't have quite enough room to write these numbers, but what's going to happen is I'm going to keep skipping this return statement, because if I look ahead, I'm going to be testing each one of these to see if they're less than 1, and none of them is going to be less than 1. So I know that I'm not ever going to get into this return statement. I'm going to keep looping. So if I wanted to number just a few more lines, I'd be like 27, 28, then 29, I think 30, and at that point I would be up to the point where we've gotten here. And then at step 31, I'll come up here, test I, to see if it is less than the length. It's not, so I will fail down here to -1 for step 32. Therefore, this whole thing is returned -1, and so what I will print out is the first value of n, which is a 1. So output 1, a space, and then -1. Whew, that was a lot.